right. It looks like we are live.
Hello,
And
welcome to another episode, live telecast
of
of A Sit Down
with
with
the
the
Lampshades live podcast, actually.
Yeah.
I am your host, Priest of the Most High, Sakuma Zingami Lambew.
And I'm your host, Priest of the Most High, Lucifer the Lambew. And we look forward to seeing you today. And we got a lot to go over.
A lot to go over, mind you, from President Trump, from North Korea, from China. I mean, everything's breaking out right now, and we got to talk about it. Obviously,
Yeah, definitely. We have news just in that President Trump
hmm
threatened North Korea with fire, from the heavens, basically, a power not seen in all the earth,
not seen in the
the
world,
world over.
in the world. I mean, those aren't some funny jousting.
Them fighting words.
I mean, so this just goes to show you what Lampshades Ministry and other ministries have been preaching, all right, for these 7 long years, all right, that the end of this world as you know it is about to take place. That also lets you know that the solar eclipse that is only days away, right, is a sign from the Most High to let you know, O Israel, that the 7-year tribulation is about to begin. It's not mere coincidence that Trump is saying such aggressive, warmongering words to North Korea, and North Korea saying such harsh words to America. I mean, you can't play around with nuclear war. The thing about a nuclear bomb is once you threaten somebody to use it, you may find out that they take you seriously and they're using it against you, right? So I don't think Kim Jong-un speaks good English and can tell a joke from a real threat. I think he's just going to take everything that comes out that Edomite's mouth as a threat to be taken seriously.
Well, Trump wasn't joking.
No, he wasn't.
I mean, he had that senator or whatever going days before his major statement saying that Trump was telling him personally that he was going to do war with North Korea, and the White House didn't refute what I think it was Governor Lindsey Graham.
Lindsey Graham, yeah.
The White House didn't refute what he was saying. They didn't say that he was lying. They didn't say that he wasn't being honest or truthful
or mistaken.
They didn't even bother saying that they denied the conversation. They just let this Lindsey Graham guy go around
as if he was some sort of spokesperson,
which we all know
he ain't.
But they let him go around telling everybody what Trump had told him, which basically is leaking. It was basically, leaking it.
And this is not so a small matter, oh Israel. See, the world that's asleep, they don't realize just how quickly nuclear war is going to begin. Right? They're asleep,
and then now
we're the children of the light. So we see the signs that the Most High is dropping in the skies, and in what's going on in the world, and we're awoken, and we recognize just how close nuclear war is about to start.
So now we hear from President Trump's own lips, right? The provocations, the missile tests, missile launchers, whatever. That if they continue doing that, or if they talk some more shit, that that he's gonna nuke them. That's basically what he's saying. Nuclear fire, a weapon power the world has ever seen. I mean, well, there you go. Now,
of course, we're welcoming the new viewers that we're having or receiving.
Hello.
Welcome to Sit In with the Lampshades. Make sure you have a little drink of water because we'll be talking about some real major events going on right now, and how Israel is responding to them.
Yeah.
And also, if you have questions, please typing your questions.
Yeah.
We're checking the question box so that we can address your questions and any concerns that you might have in regards to this topic or in regards to what's going on in your life. Again, welcome to the sit-in.
Now, this is no joke. If Trump, and since Trump is threatening nuclear
war,
retaliation,
or first strike, he didn't necessarily say it was necessarily retaliation because it was based on the guy's words versus any actions.
What I'm saying is nuclear retaliation for Kim Jong-un's words. Nuclear retaliation. From Kim Jong-un's weapons BCMs or weapons tests. ICBM weapons tests, which of course America, China, Russia, Iran is all doing missile tests anyway. I mean, America and South Korea we're doing joint military exercises right on North Korea's front door, right in their sea. So let's put it into perspective. He's threatening retaliation for words and actions that he himself is doing, that all these nations are doing, right? So what he's really saying is, he's really saying to China, you know, if you keep doing those missile tests, because China just did a ICBM missile test too, right? Not only is America engaged in like 80 different wars and rumors of wars and military actions all over the world, now it's so crazy that is directly threatening North Korea. Did I miss something? Is America still $20 trillion in debt? Is America still over $127 trillion of undeclared debt? Am I missing something? Is America still has a crisis when it comes to jobs and not having good jobs in this country for Americans? The job fleeing? Have I missed something? How explain to me, you know, how making America great again means going into a full nuclear war with North Korea. And don't think it's going to just be North Korea. Don't think it's just going to be bombing some slanty eyes across the sea, right? Russia and China have mutual defense pacts with North Korea. Why do you think they're sending their emissaries over there? Why do you think they're setting up trades and breaking the embargo that America has on North Korea? Do you really think, right, that Trump's going to be able to not even surgically hit North Korea, right out front nuke North Korea, and that Russia is just going to sit back like he sat back, Putin's going to sit back like he sat back with Muammar Gaddafi? China is doing more trade with North Korea than ever before. And as far as I knew, there were sanctions on North Korea, greater sanctions than ever before. And yet their trade is up with China. So you can expect that China has everything invested in making sure that North Korea doesn't get nuked. And if you nuke North Korea, right, it's as if you're hitting China. And China and Russia could never be stronger in terms of allies. Russia itself is being sanctioned by the U.S., and sanctions is an element of warfare. So if North Korea and Russia are both being sanctioned by America, and both of them have mutual defense pacts, right? I mean, they got, again, they're talking to each other in the back booth. The BRICS nations, the polar opposites, or shall I say, the opposition to America's hegemony, are all talking to each other. And you don't think, all right, that Trump basically threatening nuclear war, and it wasn't even subtle. He's telling North Korea in no flat out terms that if they keep doing nuclear ICBM tests, if this guy keeps talking, flapping his lips like everybody else is doing, that they're going to just hit him. So you think Kim Jong-un is going to wait until nuclear fire rains down on his head? You think he's going to wait until a surgical strike decapitates his leadership? Do you think he's going to try to second strike after America nukes them? Hell no. Did anybody forget that this guy had his half brother killed on foreign soil? Did anybody forget that this guy has been saying this rhetoric against America and South Korea doing. Did anybody forget that South Korea is just a few paces from this guy? He threatened Guam. And everything that America has been saying about North Korea has been wrong. They said he didn't have nuclear weapons. They were wrong. They said he didn't have the ability to put nuclear weapons on an ICBM missile. They were wrong. They said he ain't gonna basically, he's just a madman. He don't really know what he's talking about. They were wrong. I mean, clearly he knows what the hell he's doing because everybody's making their moves based on what they perceive he's doing. So he's basically in what's being reported, leading this whole movement. He got the ear of Putin, Russia. He got the ear of China. He got all these sanctions put on him from America, and yet the guy is still making money hand over fist, and he has plenty of people to buy his buy his wares and his goods. Somebody's helping him. Best believe the nuclear stuff that he got. When 1 minute they're saying he ain't got none, and the next minute he's bigger than ISIS, right? Best believe some of that nuclear material could have came from China, could have came from Russia. Didn't America arm the opposition to Russia, the opposition forces against Russia? Didn't they arm the forces that were in Afghanistan that caused the group of 9/11? Right? Didn't they arm ISIS? Didn't they give ISIS like 1,100 or somebody armored Humvees? I mean, are we supposed to forget all this stuff? Now, didn't Trump go on national TV and say that they wasn't interested in regime change? How the hell are you not interested in regime change 1 minute, and then the next minute you're blatantly telling them that you're going to nuke them because of something that they say or because of a missile test that they do that they're perfectly within the rights to do? It's their fucking country. You're doing it. Russia's doing it. China's doing it. Iran's doing it. But this nuclear power, all of a sudden, but it's still nuclear power, they can't do it or else it's World War III. How the hell is that making America great again? How is that bringing back jobs and prosperities to the white America? How is that? And then the lady who's over there, who they have trying to basically talk to the press and whatever, not, she's still screaming peace and security. Isn't that the same thing the scripture said, that they're going to be talking about peace and security and then sudden destruction shall befall them? And this is right before the next two astrological signs that may be the last astrological signs in this present current dominion, this present current system. What happened in with the astrological signs when it came to the blood moons? Didn't before that blood moon stuff, didn't they legalize gay marriage in all 50 states?
Okay, and again, for the viewers who are watching, this is your opportunity to give questions and comments, whether it be personalized to yourself or whether it concerns Israel or whether it concerns what's going on in the world with America and or overseas. You know, this is the opportunity to interact. Again, this is an interactive podcast. We're just waiting for any questions to come in so that we can go ahead and address those questions. So we're waiting on you in regards to seeing what it is that you would like to get information about, whether it be biblical information or worldly information. Whatever your needs are on Israel, this is the opportunity to bring them to the man of the Most High. That way we can address your needs or your issues face to face, so to speak, on a live forum.
Well, we got people in the queue. Let's go ahead and check and see if we got any questions. Any questions? Anybody got a question? We're checking on it right now.
Again, yep. there's a delay, so
yeah.
Again, we're just giving it open so that at any time you guys can give a question or direct us in terms of what you want the conversation to flow with or whatever have you. Again, this is the difference between the podcast and our normal programs. It is directed by the children of the Most High, what is on your mind in regards to what's going on. But let's take it deeper. Again, let's take it deeper in regards to the whole Kim Jong-un circumstances and the whole beginning possibility of World War III with North Korea. Now, North Korea is not about North Korea. Okay, despite what Trump is talking about, despite what the news is talking about, is not about North Korea. What it's really about is the United States dollar no longer being the currency of the world, the main the default currency of the world. That's what this is really about. And it says that's the real reason, the real culprits, the real enemies, the real subject of America's aggression is really China and Russia. And they're utilizing North Korea as a proxy in order to bring those superpowers into a World War III, in order to bring them down. Why? Because China is about to surpass, if not already surpass, America in economy, in their economy. All right. And also the whole BRICS nations trying to create a new currency, right?
Based on gold.
Based on gold. Now, we all know North Korea ain't nothing to do with that. But North Korea,
China is.
like my brother was saying, North Korea has a pact, a military pact with China and Russia. So if they could spark a war with North Korea, who, despite what they say, is not on the same par as America, right? They can shoot Guam, but that's not necessarily the mainland. And them trying to spin it, you can tell these niggas are spinning it. That all of a sudden, out of nowhere, now North Korea can hit the mainland. They're just doing that so that they can get the fear in the American people, and through fear, get them to sign on to starting a war with North Korea, where their main goal, their true goal, is China and Russia. To stop China from becoming the number one economic country in the world. Because remember, China is a country that actually produces stuff. They actually make things in China, and they have exports that export their goods all across the world. America can't mess with that. America can't do with that. America don't make shit. This country hasn't made shit for a very long time, and slavery's been done in that regard.
Well, it's not exportable as it was. See,
well,
now we got the prison complex as the slavery, but you can't necessarily import the prison complex
yeah,
to all the other countries in the world. So it's internally beneficial to America, but no longer it's not exportable.
It's not external anymore. But like I was saying, I mean, America don't produce nothing. They send out their sickly dollar and they import all of their goods. They don't even export in large quantities food and agriculture, right? They're getting their agriculture from Japan. They're getting their agriculture from other places, but they're not creating it and exporting it themselves. So the fact that China, they produce goods and services that they then sell to all countries around the world, making their economy stronger and based on productivity and production, while the American economy is based on nothing. Okay, it's not based on gold. It's not based on silver. It's called the the petrodollar, where it's based on gold with Saudi Arabia, right? But the whole thing with the petrodollar is the petrodollar is getting to its last legs. Why? Because of the competition with Russia and their oil, which they export oil as well, right? And you know, Russia was trying to create a pipeline through some countries in the Middle East to include Syria, in which America didn't want them to do, because if Russia was starting to sell their oil to the Middle East, that would again take a chunk out of the power of America's petrodollar agreement, right? With Saudi Arabia, right? So this isn't about North Korea. North Korea ain't fucking with the money of America. North Korea is not fucking with the social order when it comes to the finances of the world. Russia and China is. Russia was trying to export oil to everybody, which cuts Iranian deal with America with the petrodollar. And what is the petrodollar? That's basically saying that all the Iranian oil would be sold in the American dollar. So those who wanted their oil would have to keep a large quantity of American dollars, So America would export their dollars and get back resources, get back, whatever they wanted, right? Food, resources, whatever have you. All because other nations would need to have a constant flow of American dollars in order to purchase oil. And we all know all these countries needs oil for cars, for military, for planes, and so forth and so on. All right. So what Russia trying to create a pipeline through Syria and Iran and other allied Middle Eastern countries, they were going against American dollar, American economy, and so that's the reason why America wants to bring down Russia, and they want to bring down China because China is producing all the goods and services, and while American dollar is going down, their economy because of their production ability is going up, but America can't address them directly, right? So now they tried to use Syria as a way in which to bring him into war, but because of Putin not wanting to do with that, not taking the bait, so to speak, not taking the bait in Ukraine as well, and China not taking the bait in the South China Sea, right? Those guys are way too smart to take the bait that America's trying to give them with those direct conflicts. So now they want to go to the inexperienced, the younger Kim Jong-un, and try to use him as a way to take the bait in order for them to try to attempt to take down their real adversaries, which is China and Russia.
You gotta look at history, right? You got 100% embargo caused Japan to attack. 100% oil embargo caused Japan to attack America, right? Now the BRICS nation, China, Russia, Iran, so forth, is messing with America's oil, right? Like Priest Most High Lambew was talking about how they're trying to make a pipeline in the Middle East or whatever. How Russia's trying to supply Europe and whatever not with oil, with natural gas and so forth. So they're threatening the dollar by doing alternatives, creating alternatives, so that the hegemony of America would no longer be. They're basically, for lack of better terms, fucking with America's money.
And that's basically what's going on right now in regards to that. But we got a question here. We got a question.
One more thing though. Also in history, if you look at it, what happened before this, and that was with legislation that they were pushing through, or Trump was trying to push through, got overturned by the whole repeal and replace got overturned by all the politicians, basically. And then you got the sanctions that were being put on Russia, which basically went over the president's head as well. But they're forgetting he's fighting the deep state at the same time. Those were two big losses. And remember, Trump cares so much about people's opinion, right? He don't like to look like an idiot. He don't like to look like a fool. So by them overturning him on the repeal and replace, by them overturning him on putting more sanctions on Russia and then making it in the legislation, whereas he wouldn't have the power to create a deal, broker a deal outside of the Senate, of the congressmen say so. They basically made him twice over look like a fool. So he's taking the last bit of the other bit of power that he does have that they still can't screw with, and that is war powers. You see, by starting a war with Kim Jong-un, by starting a war with North Korea, he could go into martial law, and he would no longer have to worry about the courts, which is fighting him, and he wouldn't have to worry about the Congress, which is clearly also fighting him.
Well, let's get to the question of the day, because again, this is on I get there's a difference between the live and the thing, and we want to make sure we get their questions because we have no idea how long or whatever they're going to be on. All right, again, we have a question for Jacob's Trouble. Welcome, Jacob's Trouble, to the Lampshades, Sitting with the Lampshades live chat podcast. The question he had is, I have a question. Can you talk about family matters, or excuse me, family members, why they stop speaking to you, when you start talking about scriptures, but they go to church on Sundays and still speak to the people at church. He has another question. We're going to get with one question at a time. Okay, Jacob's trouble. Now, in regards to trying to speak to the scriptures with family members, remember, this truth is not for everyone. Even though they may be Israel by blood, right? Because the Most High requires that we come back to Him in spirit and in truth. All right, it has nothing. It has more to do with the spirit than it does the flesh. All right. Coming back to this truth ain't easy. Come back to the law, statutes, and commandments ain't easy. Therefore, you, the Most High, put the spirit in you, maybe, to come back to this truth and spirit and truth. But your family members, they may want to hold on to the pork. They want to hold on to the church. They want to hold on to paying those tithes and offerings you're paying to go to heaven. It is lucrative in this Christian deception. And that kind of answers your other question too, because you was asking what is a great deception? The great deception, one of the many great deceptions, praise be to Yah, is man-made religion to begin with, because Israel is a nationality, is not a religion. Okay, our forefathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob was chosen by the Most High. All right, their seed, their lineage was chosen by the Most High. It wasn't because they hooked into a religion. The Most High chose their whole seed. And so, and it's also written in the scriptures that He would take two from a family, one from a city, right? To come back into His truth, to come back with Him, right? So you may be the one of the two of your family that's going to come into this truth, but your whole family going to come into this truth, because the Most High already knew that 2/3 of His people wasn't going to come back to Him in spirit and in truth. And it's a lot easier to be with a church where you just pay your little money. You go to their family, their church events, their social gatherings where people are dressing nice with the suits and so forth and so on. It's a lot easier to deal with them than being in this Israelite truth, because this Israelite truth is hard. It's difficult, especially living in a land of Babylon. That's because I said I wouldn't take it too personal, because the Most High says that if you have eyes to see and ears to hear. He also says that He allows some to see and the rest are blinded. Mm-hmm.
It's spiritual what's going on with them.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all willing, if you can see, it's because He allows you to see.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all willing because if they can't see, it's because he strips it from them.
Mm-hmm.
And also you got to understand there's a social element to it too. People go to church all the time, right? But you ask those Christians about the actual scriptures and actual word of God, they have no freaking clue. They'll sit there walking around with a Bible in their hand, but won't spend no time studying the source of the proof. They'll just sit there with the Bible in the pew, with their fancy clothes on, everybody dressing up as if they're going to the ball, and they're talking about absolutely zero scriptures,
Mm-hmm.
actual scriptures, and people been in the church for 80 years.
And don't know nothing.
And they don't know absolutely nothing, because they didn't go there. They're not going there
for God. They're going there for the social element.
For the social element, for each other.
Mm-hmm.
They're going there to meet their next love interest. They're
Mm-hmm.
going there to look for status,
or searching for a husband, or whatever.
Or searching for a husband or a wife or whatever,
or an ex-wife,
or soon to be ex-wife, or to be running around with the pastor, behind closed doors.
Now, the reason why they aren't talking to you is, or they don't want to talk to you is because, this truth, there's no relationship between the light and the darkness, those who see and those who don't see, right? The Most High is giving you this truth, so you want to spread this truth, and those who are afraid of the light coming to the light because they don't want their sins to be revealed. If they're eating pork, if they're not abiding by the law, statutes, and commandments, if they believe that Jesus Christ was their Savior and He's a white man, then they're not going to want that challenge with the truth of this word, of this realization of who we are, where we come from. They're not going to want that to be before them, because this truth blows away their deception, and they love their deception. They love their darkness. So obviously, between you and their darkness, they're going to choose their darkness. They're going to turn from the light. Thus, they won't have their sins exposed. All right, so that's also what that separation the Most High is talking about. All right, even amongst Israel, right? You got to make sure that you're with others in this truth, man, and not worrying about family members, wives, children, anybody of your family who don't accept this truth, who's trying to strive against this truth. You got to just, let them do their thing and you do your thing. The Most High is holy, and so his people are holy. Those Christians who are tag teaming with all kind of different nationalities, all bound down to a white JC, they're not holy because they're not separated, right? Under the Most High. This truth is this walk is a narrow road. You can't expect that you and everybody in your family is going to be walking on this narrow road to salvation. You'd be lucky if you are on that small path to salvation, let alone the members of your family. So even in this truth, you should already know that it's a solo mission. It's an individual mission with the Most High. It's an individual relationship with the Most High. Yeah. The best thing you can do is be an example to them, yeah, by bearing the light of the Lord. But you need not require them to talk to you, communicate with you, because even in this truth, you already should have the realization that it's time to forego this world and anyone attached to this world. Like what we got fathers. Oh yeah, we have a dad. Our dad is a deacon in the Baptist church. He got like 80 ministries, 80 some odd Christian ministries, but we can barely talk to him, and we haven't talked to him in a minute. Why? Because he has all these different ministries, and none of them go over the scriptures. No, all feel good. All need to get along and forgive your brother and forgive all the people and yada yada yada. All feel good. God is love and buy your way into heaven and garbage. Yeah, they twisting the Bible left and right, and they don't want to talk about truth, man. They don't want to be convicted of the things that they're doing in their life that's not of the Most High. All right, what relationship does oil have with water? Right? They don't mix. Oil and water don't mix. And Christianity and these man-made religions and the children of God and this Israelite truth don't mix. So coming in this truth, you should already be up on the game and realize that you're gonna have to sacrifice those worldly people in your life to include those who you call your family. Because remember what happened with Yeshua when his servants told him that his mother and his brother and so forth was trying to get to him, and the large crowd wouldn't allow them to get close to the Most High, his son, Yeshua. And he said, my brothers, my sisters, my fathers, whatever, are those who are in the service of the Most High, doing the work of the Most High has given all of his servants to do. And that's this truth, man. We are your brothers. That's right. We're your brothers, right, in spirit, more than the flesh brothers and sisters and father and mother that you have in your life. That's right. And we're right here talking with you. All right. All right. So, I mean, don't worry about them. What does the scripture say? Yeah. The flesh profit you nothing. The flesh profit you nothing. You talking to your brothers. That's right. Right here, right now. You and all those other Israelites who take it upon themselves on those street corners. On those street corners and also on the podcast and joining with the children of Israel in the work of the Lord. When two or more come together in his name, he's in the midst. Yep. So this right here is your family, more than your biological family that's still stuck in this world. So that answers your question on that regard. Because again, you have to, we're in the world but not of the world. Sacrifice dictates that you have to make be willing to make changes. Now about the I think you also add, and what is the strong delusion? Said, and what is the strong delusion the scriptures talk about? That's man-made religion. That's Christianity. That's the belief that they're going to get a rapture and get out of the tribulation that's coming to them, the rightful righteous tribulation that's coming to them for the 400-year slavery that they did to the children of God. That's a strong delusion. All right. Another delusion which encompasses all that, is the fact that they believe JC is the name of the son of the Most High. When JC is the name of the son of Zeus, is an anagram for Zeus, right? And also that they can be saved, right? That their man-made religion can save them from the righteous judgment of God. And so those are all strong delusions.
You gotta understand, before you say the great delusions, know that everything is done in practice.
Mm-hmm.
All these delusions will lead to the great delusion.
Yeah. You sucker me once, sucker me twice, you ready for the big sucker.
They sucker born every day.
Sucker born every day.
Right? You know, they suckered them and they were delusional, think they could take the children of the Most High God into slavery and not be punished.
Yeah.
Every race that's ever put their hands on the apple of the Most High's eye has been punished.
Mm-hmm.
They were delusional to think that they wouldn't be.
Yeah.
When the Most High comes and reveals who his children are and leads his children out like he did in Exodus the first time, but now the second time, they're gonna be given a great delusion to believe that since the Most High will already have showed them that who his favorites are, whatever, whatnot, that they can then take the mark of the beast
Mm-hmm.
and then get on with Antichrist,
Mm-hmm.
and that they're gonna still go to heaven, or
Ultimately.
they're gonna benefit
Yeah.
for doing thus. That's gonna take a strong delusion
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah, so there's some future strong delusions. The belief of aliens and aliens coming to save the day for them. That's another strong delusion that's coming. You know, and like my brother just said, in regards to taking the mark of the beast,
Which is already in progress.
the strong delusion is that they can take the mark of the beast and still go to heaven and not go straight to hell.
And people are already trying, and even some camps
Are saying
They're
that the
always trying to
RFID
push
chip
that the
ain't the mark
RFID
of the
chip ain't the
beast.
mark of the
Yeah.
beast.
And there's Christian churches talking about if you take the RFID chip to get food and stuff, you can always just take out the chip and it'll be all good. Your soul will come back to you, or your soul won't be removed. You can take out the chip and you can just use it for food, and then when you get time, you can just take it out and it'll be okay.
Yeah,
So they're ready.
They're priming that
great delusion.
They're priming it.
Yeah,
They're getting it ready.
so if they're suckering you with a belief that the world is round like a ball and not flat, then if you're believing the Edomites, right, and what they're telling you, what they're teaching you in school, that you can drink water and there ain't no fluoride in it, that there ain't no lead in it. Mm-hmm. So if you're believing their lies already, then you're already priming yourself, or they're already priming themselves.
Yeah, for that great delusion.
For that great delusion. But if you're already deluded, if you're already drunk off of the wine of lies, Kool-Aid, then one delusion is as good as another. To answer your question. Let's see if you got any other questions for us.
What we got next?
He also, Jacob Trouble also said, so church is easier, but the truth is real work. And that's true, man. That's what's up, man. That's the reason why these churchgoers can't handle this truth, man, because it takes responsibility, man. This truth, it tastes nice in your mouth and turns bitter in your belly. It feels good to know you're the children of God. It feels good to know you're chosen. It feels good to know that the redemption of Israel is soon come. Well, the 400 years is soon completed. It turns bitter when you realize you got to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments. It feels bitter when you realize that you can't just marry a black woman and divorce her ass and marry somebody else after you divorced her. All right, and marry somebody else because you wanted to divorce this other girl. Right? It tastes bitter in your mouth when you realize that the Most High has laws and rules that you need followed. Right? That the punishment for sorcery, the punishment for all these wicked sins is death. Right? That's when the hard part comes in. When you have to change your life, when you got to look into your life and make changes. That's when it becomes hard. See, in Christianity, you say a little, speech talking about you accept their JC and all your sins are just magically forgiven. Even the sins that you haven't even done yet are magically forgiven, right? But yet in this Israelite truth, we know that our righteousnesses are like filthy rags, and we're dead in our sins without Yahshua HaMashiach, without the redemption of Israel.
But now check it, right? The church is saying to their people that they all they got to do is do a little seance.
Yeah.
All they got to do is bow down to the leper's JC, and all their sins, both past, present, and future, is basically forgiven. and no matter whether they're dead in their sins or not, they just pay a little tithes and offerings,
and they're good,
and they just bought their way straight to heaven. It's much more easier to put down, some paper with Esau's face on it, some dead presidents that you can get from just spending some of your time at a job, than it is actually working inside your life and dealing with your own
changing
sins,
your life and your spirit,
and turning from those wicked ways, and actually being the new creature that the scriptures is actually talking about.
Praise be to God.
Now, what they're saying sounds like a good deal.
And that everybody
who has blind eyes, who have stopped up ears.
Yeah.
That you ain't got to do nothing but just pay a little money and you're in.
And say a little
seance and you're in. It sounds like a good deal.
And that everybody's is equal and everybody's
God loves everybody, and Yahshua died, JC
died for everybody.
JC died for everybody's sins, past, present, and future. And therefore, there basically is no sin. There's no more law. You can do what you want. And you're partying here, you're partying there, you'll be partying in heaven.
You're partying 6 days out of the week.
Sounds like a dang good deal.
And going to church on the 7th.
Yeah, except it's a lie.
Yeah, it's a lie.
It's a lie.
Yeah.
And it is already known, you should know, that people are willing to accept, a lie, an obvious lie,
but a comforting lie
over a harsh truth.
Yeah, and this is the harsh truth. The harsh truth is that you gotta abide by the law, statutes, and commandments. You gotta believe that Yahshua HaMashiach, you obviously died for Israel, for your sins or whatever have you, but not that you would need not do the law, because the law is still necessary. Why? To show the love that we have for Yahshua.
And check it. The wide gate that leadeth to destruction,
and the small one,
that wide gate is that smooth sounding, sweet sounding lies.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's the reason why there's, billions of Christians. That's the reason why there's billions of Catholics, or a lot of Catholics. Yeah. That's the reason why there's billions of the Muhammad people.
But when the Most High was talking about Israel, it's talking 12,000 from each tribe, making 144,000. You compare 144,000 of Israel with the millions and billions
of these churches,
churches and man-made religions,
and it's easier to see which one is the wide gate
and which one is the small gate
that leads to destruction, and which one is the small gate that leads to salvation.
Which one's more easy and which one's more difficult.
Right? Didn't Yeshua say that he wishes not that his people will be pulled out of the world, but that they will remain in the world, basically,
and overcome
the world as he has overcame the world?
Praise be to God.
If it was easy, right, everybody would be doing it.
Yeah.
Right. This truth, is the truth. We sell it not, but that doesn't mean it's worthless. It has great value, even though we don't sell it. It has great value, right? And the value comes because it's the narrow road. The value comes because the man of God navigates the road, and not everybody can do it. The value, we get the value from the Most High, and that's how he weighs it.
Yep. So Jacob's trouble. I mean, that's what's real, man. This road is valuable to the children of God because not everybody's gonna get it, man.
Oh yeah.
Not everybody's going to enter into the kingdom of God, man.
Yep.
Not everybody. It is only reserved for those who love the Most High and walk upon this narrow path.
That's right.
But it's a narrow path that all men of God are walking upon. That is searching for the Lord.
All right.
All right. So those Christian and Catholic churches may be bigger in their numeric size, but they're also bigger in the numeric number of those going to hell.
That's right.
They
may be in first class, but you gotta look at the destination, bro.
There's the destination.
You gotta look. You on a train? We're on a train. All of us. We're in coach. We're in the back of the train. Talking about, oh, this sucks, right? But they got all these churches or whatever. We're not. They're in the front of the train. Riding first class. But see, it's the guys in the back of the train that's realizing how suck this road is. How sucky this train is, and everyone's looking around like, gotta be something else, right? It's one more stop before this thing goes off that cliff. One more stop. But see, the people in first class, they're getting wined and dined with free drinks. They're getting wined and dined with, topless waitresses. I mean, there's a party, in the first class. Everybody's dancing, But the guys in the back, you know, in the sweat and the heat, where there's no air conditioning, they're like, man, screw this. Next stop, we out of here, right? You see, that's the narrow road, because if you were in the front seat, if you was in the first class, you wouldn't be thinking about, hey, where are we going?
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't be thinking about, hey, there's only one more stop. What's the destination? You wouldn't be giving a dang if you was in the first class party and half smashed with drinking out of your mind. But see, that's what the narrow road is for, to open your eyes, O Israel. You know, to open your mind, and to make you look, to make you uncomfortable and look left and right and go, hey, something's wrong, right? Like our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you know, they're the forefathers of all of us. And they all lived in a world where there was great things wrong, where all these other nations were going off, serving all these other crazy gods and whatnot. And they came up out of all of that, right? Abraham was a Gentile in the sense that that's where he was raised, right? He was in the land of Canaan, right? Most High brought him out from amongst the Gentiles. That was even before there was the law. Abraham realized that his father was off, that his family was off, that his brothers was off, that his neighbors were off, and the Most High separated him.
A nation of individuals.
You can't be chosen, not separate.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well,
Most High separate first. Most High separates you unto Himself. He holy. Holiness and separation.
Yeah.
Right.
We're a nation of individuals. We're a nation of people trying to be like all these heathens.
We're not holding.
Be like the people
we're not holding shoulder to shoulder. It's a narrow road. It's man to man, one at a time, back to back. It's not all holding hands saying kumbaya. Right? Isaac was separate. Right? Isaac was chosen. He was separate. Just ask Ishmael. if you know, a bunch of you could come in at the same time. No. Abraham was separated and chosen. Isaac was separated and chosen, and so was Jacob. Just as Esau.
So again, Israel is a nation of individuals. You know, with an individual relationship with the Most High, and we come together with the Most High being basically the glue.
Yeah,
that keeps us together and establishes our nation. You know, and again, you know,
and it takes strength.
It takes strength to turn away from this world. We live in the most wicked kingdom on the face of the earth.
Most High didn't make
Babylon. Which is Babylon. We live in the most worst kingdom on the earth, man. They have gay, homosexuals, transgenders. They got fucking
free porn on the internet.
Free porn on the internet. You know,
they got girls gone wild and just going crazy.
You know, the summertime, you got girls dressing all crazy. Even on the news, you got girls dressing
crazy
with shorts on and so forth. So
sin is everywhere.
There's sin and wickedness everywhere
and
you look.
It's easily accessible.
Yeah.
You know, and if you're in the world, living in the world, and you're not really thinking about the Most High,
it's easy to fall into those things.
The traps are all around you.
The snares are all around you.
Exactly.
But that's why we got to be individually coming to the Most High, working on the relationship, the individual relationship that we have with the Most High.
Yeah, you can't be looking at the next man. You gotta make sure you don't fall in those traps yourself.
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
Ain't that true? You talking about? I mean, people can talk about this or that or whatever, whatnot. But this is Israel, baby.
Yeah.
You know, and in Israel, that's why the Most High says, "Study to show yourself approved." That's what that's all about. Because if you're studying to show yourself approved, then you know when that pastor or that other person is going off, and when you're hearing the doctrine of devils, you have discernment. You know what it is that you're listening to. You know when it's not right.
But then again, Jacob's Trouble, you said thank you, good answers. Yes, thank you. We appreciate your question.
Appreciate your question.
Again, for all those who are watching us live right now,
watching us live, baby. Hello, Israel.
Don't be silent. It was good that Jacob's Trouble asked a few questions.
And we do appreciate that, Jacob.
And that's why we're here. We're here to answer as many questions as possible to serve the children of Israel with the knowledge of the Most High through the Scripture. And you know, so we encourage you.
Ask questions. This is your podcast as much as anybody else's. To take a leadership role. If nobody, don't wait for the next man to ask a question. Ask a question yourself. Don't just be a listener and a hearer of the word, but a participator
and a doer.
A doer. You know, faith is great. Faith is very important, but faith without works
is dead.
Is dead. and listening to no end, of course, is no good either. You want to be able to hear the word and be a doer of the word as well.
So if you have any questions, feel free
to ask.
That's what we're here.
We're
here for you, O Israel. We're making the Most High makes us available so that we can deal with whatever's going on. Whatever question you may have, whether it be personal. Maybe you have an issue with your wife. Maybe you have an issue with your children. Maybe you have an issue with Esau. Maybe they're coming after you for whatever reason. And you want a prayer, or you want some advice by the men of God. You want someone to stand in the gap for you. Ask. And you shall find. Seek and you shall find.
Yeah, nobody comes to the men of God
for no reason,
unless the Most High brought them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's true in the street corners, and it's true in this live
podcast.
Everybody who's here, want to thank you for being here.
Mm-hmm.
But trust and believe, you're not here because
for no reason.
You just clicked on and said, "I'll try something new today." You're here because the Most High has brought you. You got to understand something. When Yeshua and the men of God, our ancestors, walked the earth, they helped plenty of people, but there's a lot of people that they didn't get a chance to help, and they didn't get a chance to help those people because they didn't have those people didn't have the faith to come up and ask.
Yeah, it's lack of faith
to move in the direction to grab the men of God by the coattails and get that blessing. Remember the girl who had the bleeding issue? She didn't even talk to Yeshua. She just walked up to him and grabbed his coattail, grabbed his garment. And she had faith, but she physically went up and did the action,
and she was healed.
Or remember the other nation, the woman whom the Most High called the dog, and how much faith it took for her to get rebuked by the Most High's son Yeshua, and yet still wrestle that blessing from him.
Mm-hmm.
It took not just hanging around. It took not just listening. It took action.
And so that's why we're here. We're here to make ourselves available for the children of God, man. We know our people got issues. We're in the midst of Jacob's trouble, and right before the great tribulation is about to jump off. To think that our people have no issues, that there is no issues to bring to the men of the Most High is ridiculous.
Or they have no questions.
Obviously, there's issues, and obviously there's questions. So feel free to bring these issues up in this live podcast so that we can address those issues in the spirit of the Most High Yah.
Yeah, and and don't take it for granted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're saying that we're gonna do our best. Y'all willing to have a podcast 8 o'clock every day, and we will. But don't take it for granted, man. For all you know, this could be the last podcast we do.
Mm-hmm.
For all you know, something could happen tonight that could forever change and scar the face of this earth.
Mm-hmm.
We have all these flashpoints going on right now. We have threats between America, North Korea, and all these different BRIC nations.
We got Yosemite.
We got Yosemite
having over 1,000 earthquakes under Yosemite.
They had like almost in 2 weeks or so.
Yeah,
one period in time.
It is obvious that they're showing signs of a possible eruption
in the middle of America
coming soon.
Now you don't take the Most High's word,
Most High
for granted. Yeah, if you're here for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Use your time wisely
because it's not guaranteed. Tomorrow's not guaranteed.
We do reports all the time. Most houses do reports. Just look at the over 600 some odd different videos.
Maybe 700.
Well, but we got 705 videos on the site, right? On the main site, and we got like about 500 some odd whatever videos.
Yeah, this is live. It actually has a better repertoire between.
Yeah, this is more intimate.
The subscribers and the men of the Most High
and the ministry. But check it. We again, it is not entertainment. It's not just to sit down and watch a video. We got videos up the wazoo and up the yin yang. This is different. You have an
interaction purposes.
You have an opportunity to ask the questions directly to the men of God. That has a worth, but the worth is what you make it.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though Yeshua and the 12 disciples and the other men of God that are our ancestors walked the earth, best believe, though there were many people who were helped saved, many people who were blessed through the interaction, there were many more others that weren't.
Mm-hmm.
Because they lacked the motivation to ask that question, to move forward, to put works behind their their faith or they lacked faith. Learn from those people.
That's why Yahshua was telling us that in the day of the kingdom, we would take the kingdom.
Oh,
it's not going to be handed.
It's not
to
going to
you.
be handed to you.
You got to take it. You got to grasp it. You got to do.
Yeah, you
right?
got to do.
Faith without works
is dead.
Dead, man.
You ain't gonna be able to just sit there looking around going, well, you know, these brothers, there's gonna be brothers over here, they're gonna do all this or whatever.
Yeah,
and when they get it, they're gonna just go ahead and give me a little something. That's not how it's gonna work.
You gotta take the kingdom, man. You gotta, you know, do your faith with works, man. And in this forum, the works is listening and asking questions. And letting us know what's happening with you.
What's up, man? Because part of taking the kingdom starts right now.
Yeah, it starts right now, man.
Part of taking the kingdom now. Yeah, practice right now. Part of taking the kingdom, right, is taking responsibility.
Asking questions, getting answers. You know, talking with the men of the Most High, making you know, doing what you got to do, man. It's not just sitting there.
When calamity kicks in your door, bet you be asking questions then.
Oh yeah.
When calamity kicks in your door, when they're taking your kids away, when it's Mark of the Beast or die, bet you be saying something then. You know.
Welcome, Boo Boo.
Hey, Boo Boo.
Yeah, Boo Boo. He's joined the live chat. He says shalom.
And shalom to you too, Boo Boo.
You know, Boo Boo. If you got any questions, bring it, because you know this is the reason why we here. You know, there's some Israelites who's gonna ask the good questions, get the good answers that they need, and move forward in the Most High. And there's other Israelites who's gonna be stuck just watching.
Yeah, for all the you Israelites who are new to the broadcast,
the podcast,
we've been talking about North Korea. We've also been talking about the great grand delusion that's coming down the pike. That's happening in practice.
We've been talking about a lot of things, going over the questions that have been asked on the lower right-hand side. So if you want to add questions to this conversation,
please do so.
Please do so.
Step up, open your mouth, say something, do something.
Because I mean, there's a lot of stuff happening in the world, man. There's lots of happening in your life.
Yeah, make your voices heard.
We're in the climax of Jacob's trouble, man. To think that nothing's going on in your life worth asking a question about, to think that nothing's going on in the world worth asking a question about, is just foolhardy, and it's a waste of time. It's a waste of your time.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, a closed mouth don't get fed.
Don't get fed. You know, the Most High said in His Word, "Those who seek shall find."
Exactly.
Seek the answer and you'll get the answer.
Exactly.
Seek the Most High and you'll receive the Most High.
Exactly.
You know, and this is the forum that the Most High provided in order for you to seek and get what it is that you're looking for. So don't be shy.
Don't be shy. And
ask the priest of the Most
High. We won't bite.
Whatever question you may have. You know, because that's what we're here for.
That's what's up.
We're not just here to talk and, you know, all day. We're here to answer questions. We're here to make ourselves available to you. Right, but until you do, I know my brother, Priest Mosiah Lucifer Lambew, earlier was referring to Trump and how Trump was, how they had came together, the Democrats and the Republicans,
most definitely,
to put sanctions on Russia, additional sanctions on Russia, unbeknownst to the will of President Trump.
Now, and they openly threatened them. They basically said, if you veto it, we're gonna ram it through anyway.
Yeah.
So basically, we're saying you got no power.
Yeah. So these guys can come together to get a bill to create more sanctions on Russia, which he didn't want to do, but yet they can't come together to repeal and replace Obamacare. Again, it's because Obamacare has that RFID chip embedded in the Obamacare bill, and it's too close to the solar eclipse. It's too close to World War III. Is too close for the revealing of Nibiru, or as we call it, the destroyer of the Gentiles. That's right behind the sun, waiting for his great showing, and hopefully on or about September 23rd of this year. See, there's a lot of spiritual things that are happening, man.
That are going on.
The Most High said He had the stars and the sun and the moon for signs and seasons. But those signs were important because those solar eclipses and those other ancestral signs going on, things in the earth is changing and happening because of those celestial events.
Yeah, but you know, just go a little deeper or expand a little more, whatever, or not, or some of the only questions that we've gotten so far. Understand this, guys. actually one of the great delusions that is actually ongoing right now too is the thought that the world is the way that it looks.
Yeah.
When it isn't. This world is a spiritual world.
Yeah.
The Most High is here. He's just waiting to reveal his chosen, his people on his timeline, on his in his order, in his time.
In his time.
Yeah. So and another delusion is the thought that you guys are here for no reason. You guys are here for a reason. Anything can happen, right? This is your moment. You don't have, tomorrow's not guaranteed for anyone. And the Most High knows what you're dealing with. You know. We got another question here. We got a question from Jacob's Trouble saying, "Can you explain what is the hour of temptation in Revelations? Those who withstand the hour of temptation verse."
And nice to see you again, Silver Spike.
Yeah, welcome back, Silver
welcome
Spike.
aboard. Now, in regards to Jacob's Trouble's question in regards to the hour of temptation, he's referring to the 7-year tribulation that's coming upon the earth. And what does he mean by temptation? Because during that time, the Antichrist is going to be ruling the world at that time. And of course, the Antichrist is going to be pushing the RFID chip, which is a temptation in and of itself, because they're not going to force you to take the RFID chip. You're going to have to take the RFID chip willingly. If you refuse, they're going to cut off your head, right? So the great temptation he's referring to is the rulership of the devil for the 7-year tribulation. The temptation being, will you serve the devil or will you die and serve the Most High? Yeah. Will you be tempted to be his servant or the Most High servant?
Yeah. But don't get it twisted. Again, there are multiple the scriptures are both carnal and spiritual, and they're also generational. Okay, because yes, he wrote that over 2,500 years ago. I mean, that's the scriptures for you, right? And they applied then as much as they apply right now. You know, your hour of temptation is also akin to your life and the time that we spend in this reality, right? Right?
I mean, going deep on you. You know,
no, I mean seriously. When those other nations are tempting you to follow their gods or
their religions
or their religions or their whatever, or tempting you to jumping out of bed with different women,
yeah.
with all the sins that are being permeated, all the temptations on the CPU.
Yeah,
you know, I mean,
in movies
and
pop culture
all this stuff with the gangster music and all that other stuff.
Temptation is
everywhere
being
in this life
to do what the Most High tells you not to do.
With object to the Most High's words,
to eating pork, you know, or shrimp. Yeah, when the Most High with the word in Leviticus tells you not to.
When you think nobody's watching, I mean, the hour of temptation. Yeah. You live in it.
Yeah, you live in the hour of temptation,
right?
And it's getting worse and worse and worse because now it's everywhere now.
Most High said like a day to him is like 1,000 years on the earth. Can you imagine what hours like? Right?
That's a lifetime.
I mean, that's like a lifetime.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And in this lifetime, this is our hour of temptation, right here, right now.
Just like when they asked Yeshua about the Antichrist, he said there were many Antichrists, and yet there is an Antichrist to come. Just like with the hour of temptation that you were referring to.
Yeah.
Yes, there's an hour of temptation that's coming.
Yeah.
Which is the 7-year tribulation being ran by the Antichrist.
Yeah.
But there's many hours of temptation. Yeah. Because that's your life.
That's your life.
That's the breath that you have that the Most High is giving you to do what it is that He wants you to do, rather than being tempted by the world, the wicked world that's around you.
Yeah. And that's why the Most High was saying that, basically, pray that He holds you from the hour of temptation. Yes, it's talking about again the 7-year tribulation or whatever.
Yeah,
and we pray.
We hope to
not to be a part of that.
We hope to get exited out of
here before that.
Before the devil takes control of this wicked ass world.
Exactly.
Right? To be spared from the hour of temptation, is to come back to the Most High in spirit and in truth, and that He would have a plan for us to get to the land of milk and honey and not die here in wicked ass Babylon.
Yeah, most definitely.
So we praying. And we would suggest you all would continue to pray to be, lifted from the hour of temptation. That's 7-year tribulation. Yeah, we don't want to be around for that.
Yeah,
Right.
but on the micro in your life, that's what your prayers is too, right? That you're not that you don't that you do everything you can to stand, that you're not snuck in and ensnared in all these different traps, all these different so-called hours of temptation.
That you ain't addicted to drinking,
that you ain't addicted to drugs,
that you ain't addicted to pornography or women, that you're not addicted to doing wickedness, that you can't escape it.
Yeah,
we all pray that we are delivered
and delivered
from that hour of temptation. All right, if you've ever been addicted to something, you know what that temptation feels like when you're trying to stop.
Yeah.
All right. When you ain't trying to talk to old girl.
Yeah.
When you ain't trying to go to the casino. When you ain't trying to go clubbing. Yeah. And you got that feeling, you got that temptation that's hitting your mind, even though you ain't even there.
And best believe that hour of temptation also goes with your family. You coming into this truth, don't just think that everybody's just gonna be like, all right, cool, he's trying to be in the truth or whatever or not. Go ahead and leave him alone. Don't tempt him with pork. Don't tempt him with trying to do the things they used to do. Don't hold his old sins over his head, talking about you know you ain't no good because you did something in 1943. I mean, whatever the case may be, they're part of that hour of temptation because they don't accept the new creature that the Most High is making you into. You see, and that's why the scriptures say, "Do all that you can to stand." You know, that you would not see yourself and live in that old spirit. That you would not allow that old man to continue. That you would sacrifice him on the altar. And you would sacrifice that old man, on the tree, so to speak, and that you would move on as a new creature. That's what surviving and coming out of the hour of temptation, what it means. Okay, silver. Well, we gotta move it up because we're getting some questions now.
Okay, questions are starting to pour on in. So praise be to God. Okay, so
press the man of God. That's how it's supposed to go.
So we got Silver Spike. He says, "Shalom, brothers. I am Ricky's wife. I'm having a really hard time keeping my spiritual connection to Yah." Okay, so this is his wife.
Hey, Boo Boo, we got. Why'd you retract your message? You got message retracted? Come on, Boo Boo. Ask your question. You never know. I mean, how many messages you got retracted, Boo Boo? What's going on with you?
Well, I don't know, but we gotta go with ones we got. So apparently this is Ricky's wife. So this is Silver Spike's wife, and she wants to know how can she stay spiritually connected to Yah. And then she says, "What should I do to keep on this path?" Okay, so Silver Spike's wife, we do appreciate your question. We do appreciate you coming through.
Wow.
Do you want to take on this question, Brother Lucifer?
Yeah. Whoa. Well, you know what? Miss Silver Spike.
He said Ricky's wife.
Miss Silver Spike. You know, the path is it is what it is. You know, and to be 100% honest with you, you know, it has a value, and that value is not ascertained or from me. It's not ascertained for the next person, that ascertained from somebody else. It's ascertained between you and the Most High. You know, if you love the Most High, then you value the road that He has you on. If you ultimately don't love the Most High, then you know you're going to reject the road that you're on. It's be humble and submit yourself to your husband, right? Because the Most High has an order, and the order is the Most High, Yeshua, the man of God, the woman, and then the children. That's what the scriptures say. And you don't have to understand everything, right? You ain't gotta understand everything.
In fact, you're actually supposed to be learning from
your husband.
So taking questions from you directly is a little bit out of the norm.
Out of the norm. But we're live.
We're live. So I mean,
but that's why the Most High has a brother telling you to humble yourself to your husband. You know, he is your lot, so to speak. You know, and it doesn't mean that the man of God does everything 100% perfect. It doesn't mean that the man of God is 100% right 100% of the time, right? We all come back to the Most High in truth and sincerity to the best of our ability.
And keep your husband in your prayers, man.
Yeah, keep him in your prayers and keep him up. He is your covering.
Yeah.
For better or for worse,
he's your hedge.
He's your lot. He's your hedge. You know, for better or for worse, it's your success. You know. If you want to stay on the path, you want to keep on the path, keep him in your prayers. And oftentimes, a righteous man of God is held up by that woman.
Yeah.
Righteous woman is holding up, that helping him, right? Being an asset spiritually to him and a help mate to him.
Serve your husband well.
Serve your husband well. Do you want to stay on the path?
A wise woman serves her husband well.
Serves her husband well, and is
an asset.
Is an asset
to her husband.
To her husband.
Yeah.
He'll. I mean, the Most High is dealing with the man of God.
Yeah.
All right. It's like for instance, as a good example, Silver Spike wife, as a good example, you got Miriam, right, and how the relationship was between Miriam and Moses. Now, it wasn't husband and wife, but check it.
They were brother and sister.
They were brother and sister, but check it. Miriam and Aaron went against Moses because they felt that what he was doing with having a Midianite wife and an Egyptian wife, or whatever it was
breaking the law,
statutes, commandments. Now, the Most High never said that she was Aaron was wrong in their charge. He didn't say that. He didn't say you're wrong in what you're saying. You're saying lies. What he said was basically that he was dealing with Moses. And basically, who are they to try to circumvent him and what he's doing with Moses, and try to circumvent Moses by going to him and going to the people about how this or that, how their thoughts of Moses was, and he punished them
because they didn't trust in the Lord to rectify
deal with the man of God. And deal with the man of God. The Most High has eyes that can see. The Most High has ears that can hear. You don't need the woman to stand up in the congregation and go against and accuse the man of God. See, she was off for that, and she was punished for that, regardless of what her issues were, regardless of what the truth of what she was saying. Right? Silver Spike's wife. So the lesson of the story is, if you really have faith in the Most High, then have faith that the Most High is real. That he's a rewarder of those who diligently seek him, and that he's dealing with your husband. He has eyes that can see. You need not point out to the men of God, what's going on with your husband specifically, because the Most High is already working on him. He's working on him, and trust the Most High that he can that he is seer of things that are done in secret.
So to answer your question, how to stay on this path of servitude to your husband.
Servitude to your husband.
Putting your faith in helping your husband through these troublous times.
Yeah.
We're in Jacob's trouble.
We're in Jacob's trouble.
If you want to know how to, to stay on the path, is being stayed up with your husband and helping him through these tremendous times.
He's your covering.
If he falls, then
the whole household falls.
If the head is sick, then the whole body is sick. So you need to stick with him. You need to be helping him along
to the best of your ability.
You need to be supporting his efforts to get into this truth,
most
understanding this way,
most definitely,
to learning this way,
most definitely.
You gotta be understanding. You gotta be working with them, because again, he's your hedge, man.
You're in it together.
You're in it together, man.
And you ain't gotta understand everything.
No, right? And you don't have to be perfect, man.
You ain't gotta be perfect.
Ain't nobody perfect.
Nobody is.
We all
You're not. I'm not. He's not. No, that's what we say, to the best of our ability.
All right. Because we're in the 400-year trial and tribulation right now, man.
We're surrounded by our enemies.
Man.
I mean, don't get it twisted. Esau is our enemy.
Yeah.
And they're looking at your children.
They're looking at you
for holes or cheeks in that man of God's armor. They're looking at the wife for cheeks in that man of God's armor, and they're looking at the man of God and his friends and everybody around him for cheeks in that armor. He needs to be supported.
Yeah. Now, of course, doing the law, statutes, and commandments, even by a woman, is mandatory.
Of course.
All right. Of course, you got to make sure you ain't cheating on them. Make sure you ain't lying to him. Make sure you ain't being disobedient to him.
Of course.
But then on the other hand, on the flip side, once you're making sure that you're doing the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability, to add on to that, to stay on that way, so to speak,
of course,
is serve your husband in righteousness, man.
Yeah.
And him alone.
And if you got questions, if you got questions about something or whatever, we're not, ask your husband too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying don't give us no questions, because we're thankful, we appreciate for questions.
Again, we're here for everybody.
But in his live, we're here for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But after this is said and done or whatever, whatnot, go over with your husband what was said.
Mm-hmm. Ask him what his takeaway was from
the conversation,
from
the sit down or whatever, whatnot.
Yeah.
best case scenario, you and your husband would be watching together, and that and that you can get clarification from your husband on what was said.
What was said.
And remember, he is your hedge, he's your covering. The Most High will and can bless you
through
and
him.
your household, but through him.
Yeah.
But through him, he's where the blessing comes through.
Just like
you're not gonna be able to get it any other way, right?
Just like we don't have. As a man, we don't have a direct relationship
with the Most High.
With the Most High,
we don't circumvent the Most High.
We have to go through Yahshua HaMashiach in order to have a relationship with the Most High. That is the way it's supposed to go. That's the order. Okay, we don't circumvent Yahshua or to go with the Most High. We go through Yahshua to the Most High. Just like you don't circumvent.
You can't
your
circumvent
husband to get to Yahshua. Right?
Yeah.
Your relationship with Yahshua is through your hedge to Yahshua.
Yeah.
Some women of Israel, they get haughty and they believe, that they can get to the Most High directly.
Not that it's you particularly, because we don't really know.
Again, if the shoe fits, wear it. If the shoe don't fit, don't wear it.
But don't get it twisted.
As I was saying though, there's a lot of women who believe that they can get to Yahshua without even utilizing their men, without even going through their men, right? They also believe that they can get this word and this truth without asking their husband any questions. They're trying to ask the man of the Most High directly, circumventing their husband. Okay, not saying that's your case.
And because again, we're live, and it is indicative of us, the Spirit on us, to answer the questions that come to us.
Yeah,
and we're not saying don't ask questions.
Ask we're not tickling ears either.
But of course,
just as respect,
make sure afterward to go and clarify with your husband.
You want to clarify with your husband. You want to make sure that your husband gives you the final analysis
on what was
of
said.
What's been said. Because in all respect to your husband, he is the one that's really supposed to be teaching the wife this truth.
Yeah. Well, that's why it is said that a woman shouldn't speak in the congregation, and if a woman has any questions, she should ask her husband
at home.
At home. Yeah.
And that's the same thing we said.
Yeah, and we're saying essentially the same thing. You're not going to understand everything. Men and women are different. Women are to support their men, and your husband is your teacher in spiritual things and physical things. It's your husband. And again, the order of which is the order of which, and that is sanctified by the Most High. Let's go ahead.
And so Silver Spike's wife said, "Thank you, brothers.
We got to move it up a little bit
in regards to the answers that we've given her." Praise be to Yah.
Praise be to Yah. Praise be to Yah. Silver Spike's wife. Praise be to Yah. Okay. Jacob's Troll says, so the hour of temptation is happening now?
Yes.
Yes. Like Yahshua said, or like it was written, shall I say, concerning the Antichrist, that an Antichrist is coming, but there are many Antichrists even now, is the same thing that we're saying, the Most High is having us say in terms of
the hour of
temptation and the great delusion, right? That these things
are happening now,
but they're also happening right now,
and they will come in the future.
It is, and basically it is perfection.
It is perfection.
Because right now, again, all this is practice. All this is a lead up. It's practice and lead up when it comes to delusion. It's practice and lead up when it comes to the temptations on our lives. It's all coming to full manifestation in that hour. But you're not going to be able to stand in that hour unless you're able to deal with these things in the micro now, right? How are you going to stand up against the mark of the beast if you're having a hard time putting down that cigarette?
Or that drink.
Or that drink.
Or whatever. Or that little piece of sin on the side.
Or that little piece of sin you got dealing with on the side that you think nobody knows about. So again, you practice for now what's going to be coming down the pike tomorrow.
So let's go ahead and finish out these questions.
Because
time is getting short.
Yeah, time getting short.
For Boo Boo, he says it's about to get real sci-fi. Educate us Israelites about the prophetic chariots and aliens, bro. P.S. Let's also talk about the day of our power.
All right. Well, those are a bit
and that's
broader questions.
We'll take these two questions as our last questions of the day.
Yeah. We'll take the cool questions. We're running out of a little bit out of time now. Everybody, if there is something, I suggest you get it out as quick as possible. But nonetheless, aliens, chariots of fire. That's in the scriptures.
The book of Ezekiel, if I remember straight.
Yeah. Now, don't get it twisted. there were aliens before. Aliens were the fallen angels, right? And people still talk about them now, but the world knows them as aliens. They don't know them as fallen angels, or and the Most High coming on the chariots and whatnot. They're gonna know them as aliens too, but we all know that that's Yeshua and the angels.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, it's not that big of a concept if you really think about it. Back in the days, everybody knew about these angels that will be on the earth, which are on the earth even now. Right? I mean,
and the Bible also talks about several times where angels was talking to men about certain things. Yeah.
Remember, Samson's mother met an angel, and the angel was telling her about how to, raise Samson.
And Yeshua's mother was visited by an
angel. And she was told how to that she was gonna have a child, even though at the time she hadn't even been with a man. You know, so and of course, angels met with Abraham in concerns with what was going to go on with Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah.
Right. And also, let Abraham know that he was going to have a son. That's how he learned in advance about Isaac, even though he was well advanced in his years.
Yeah.
So this was old knowledge before. I mean, it was like oh, snap, it's an alien. They all knew that. Oh, okay, got funny clothes on, has a funny accent, got some brightness about him. All right, that's one of them angels. Gideon, same thing, met with an angel. Right? This has been in the scriptures, bruh. So but instead of giving honor and glory to God and giving honor and glory to His word, instead of that, Esau just makes up a lie. Esau makes up a little green aliens with some bug eyes from another galaxy. Instead of saying, hey, you know what?
E.T.
He's talking about E.T. instead of the scriptures, which was written over 2,500 years ago, already detailing exactly who these visitors are, who these visitors have been, and the fact that they've been on the earth and
since the beginning,
dealing with mankind since the beginning, bro. Since the beginning, you're talking about the aliens to come. They're here.
They're already here.
They're already here.
Been here.
They've been here.
Yeah,
they've been here. Again, the chariots or whatever is just the manifestation of what is to come. That's really what it is. Just the manifestation, right? The Most High says He's gonna meet. He's gonna meet these Edomites. He's not gonna meet them as a man. Right? He's gonna show them some stuff that their eyes have never seen in the lead up to their destruction.
And looks like we got some more people that's coming in late.
Yeah, we got some latecomers.
Well, unfortunately,
make sure you get your
those are two last questions of the day.
All right.
If you want more questions, or you have
the day of the day of power,
or the day of power,
the day of our power.
Well, that's when the Most High returns.
Yeah, that's the coming of the Most High
to the children of God.
Yeah, to the anointed.
That's why the Most High says, "Look up, for your redemption
draws nigh."
All right. So the day of power, our power, is the day we are redeemed out of this wicked ass world. Through the 144,000 anointed, chosen by the Most High to be up out of here. So we're all looking forward to that. The ancestral sign for that is in September 23rd of this year,
next month.
Yeah, that's next month, bro.
There's your day of power, baby.
33 days after the sign of great tribulation. So
definitely,
we're looking forward to that, but we also got to prepare for this 33 days of great tribulation as well.
And we're already seeing the signs of it: rumors of wars, and so forth.
But we get prepared in the spirit. By coming back to the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability, doing this work like we're doing right here
with truth and sincerity,
giving ourselves open to the children of Israel so that we can help them and guide them in this way.
Oh yeah.
And so that's getting yourself prepared, bro.
Yeah.
And we suggest that you continue to keep yourself prepared by keep coming to these podcasts.
Yeah, as long as both sides have them.
Keep watching these videos, bro.
Because in the micro, this is the day of power, baby.
Yeah.
Where Israel's all together talking about the Most High and giving praise and honor to the Most High. The Most High's Son, Yeshua.
Yeah.
And for the coming together of Israel.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
The power,
this
baby.
Is the power, baby. Coming together
in the micro.
As Israel, there's the Most High said 2 or more come together.
He is truly in the midst.
in the midst.
And that's the power.
That's the power you're looking for.
All
That's
right.
the power you're searching for.
All right.
All right. So today we're going to end it off on that note.
On that note, thank you.
We'll hopefully we'll do another podcast tomorrow.
Look for us, and we'll also be putting.
Right.
We will also hopefully put the link to the future podcast in the description box
of this
podcast.
As well. Yeah. All right. So make sure to be with us tomorrow, same time, same place with the Lampshades.
So thank you for joining,
for sitting in with the Lampshades.
Yep.
I am your host, Priest of the Most High, Sakuma Zingami Lambew.
And I'm your host, Priest of the Most High, Lucifer the Lambew.
Thank you.
All right.
And shalom.
All right.
See you tomorrow, y'all.
See you tomorrow, Israel.